Hey guys, it's Kelly Cotton, and I thought I would give you an actual real insight into lost and lost syndrome, and explain to you just how I'm feeling right now and why I can't get going this morning. And also, it might actually help me get going. The more I talk, the more I speak it out, the more I sort of like can shake myself out of it. But um, I think there's videos out there that explain sort of like what EDS is and stuff like that, and I don't think you can sort of tell like how thing it is, so I'm going to do the best that I can to try to explain what is invisible to you right now, but is clearly very, very, very real to me this morning. So I don't know what time the boys woke me up this morning. I think it probably was sort of about 7 o'clock. And they have the most beautiful smiles, and I just sort of like pick my head off the pillow and like lay in their coo with them and things. And I have the bed at the moment, so you can see straight out the window, so the boys just sort of like look out the window, and I sort of lay there, and like it's like I'm trying to think of something that somebody who doesn't have this condition would understand what it feels like. So I'm trying to think of something that I've had that somebody normal might have. I say somebody normal, but okay, so like even like that, my head movement right now, I want someone to come and do a Steven Seagal moment to me right now, and just literally just grab hold of my neck and just go and just sort of, I mean, even my arms, even my shoulders. So I'm actually going to do, it's a shame I haven't got my gym clothes on. I've actually still got my dressing gown on, and I just seriously, I just want to have a dummy, a blanket, and cuddle up and be a bit of a cat. And it's times like this now when I wish Dean was here and I could just sort of like roll into his lap and just sort of like, I don't know, just lay there. And I would really love to be in a financial situation to have a physio coming now, and it would be really amazing for them to pull my toes and in fact, I'm going to try to straighten my legs out at the moment, which is really quite, in fact, I will show you my legs. Obviously I've not got pajamas on, so my legs are bare, but I will show you like the movement restriction in my legs right now. Okay, I'm sat down on the floor because it's easy, but this is the restriction in my leg this morning and the solidness of my toes. So what I need to sort of get these to go in, I mean, is and start, I mean, even in the foot there, just to get it moving. But to get my leg now, and seriously, I'm going to push it to the max that it will go. So you can see that I can't even straighten my legs. Pain, really, all the pain, and just you know, I don't know, that just cut out then, so I have no idea whether when I upload it that will still be there. So if it isn't, then it's missed quite a vital piece of what it is that I was saying. So if it's jumped, it's because I'm having problems with the signal, and that probably pretty much explains how EDS works, because there's Potier tack card. Seriously, I've got brain fog, you know, major brain fog. If someone said to me now, Kelly, you got a bit of work at 9 o'clock in the morning and you've got to be in a meeting and you've got to deal with a £24 million deal today, I'd have to go like, seriously. And this is why, like, people have a go about, you know, people like myself who don't work in normal jobs. It just isn't physically possible. It isn't getting up, like, even obviously with school for 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, I used to have a proper plan in place for days like this. It's not all the time, you know. I do have the aches every morning. I do have the thing, but it's just some mornings I can just go, I'm not dealing with this, and I can overcome it and I can override it quickly. But some mornings I just seriously just want to cocoon. And I mean, look, I mean, this is sort of like, you can see the tightness just in the frame of me inside of my hands there. yeah? So if I try to sort of pull my fingers out, you can see just how much, and obviously, yeah, and that is literally every joint, everything that is going all the way through my body, even just sort of even all down here, all strained into my necks. And this is why I would absolutely love in the mornings to just have a physio come in. But unfortunately, in this country, there is no NHS for stuff like this, because it's not considered vital enough. It doesn't keep me on deaf doors. It doesn't make me, like, just moving me through. I'm trying to walk. It's not funny. Now, this is obviously me in it. This is me in it. This is me not pushing myself through it. This is me. Just 2 seconds, because Elijah's listening to numbers and letters and 2 seconds. Oh my word. Okay, so this is EDS Awareness, and this is me explaining just really what it feels like in the morning. Like, my shoulder blades are burning, like totally burning. My throat is spasming. How else do I explain it? So basically, collagen, EDS is a collagen deficiency, and basically I don't reproduce the same glue that you guys reproduce to keep my body together. I don't really understand how that works as such. I don't understand, like, even now I've got my phone in my hand and I've literally just trying to move my elbow onto the sofa so I can put it a bit higher, and my brain is trying to tell my arm to move, and my arm is sort of going, yeah, what did you just say? Sorry, what was that? It's like a child when you're saying, Elijah, come here, and my arm is going, nope, didn't hear that command. No, okay, right. And even now, seriously, I'm actually physically telling my arm to move to that sofa, and my arm is completely sort of thing. So then I have to sort of go on your asshole. There you go. And flip it up. And sometimes, like, this is helping. It's helping bringing me around. It's getting me to the point where I just want to go, just shake it out, get it out. Freak this, I'm not dealing with this. So this is not happening. The easy thing, obviously, would be to take medication. And I was on like 800 mils of tramadol. Elijah, can you stop? I was on like 800 mils of tramadol. I was on morphine patches. And I just didn't have the will to fight it. What that did was actually made it easier to just sit in a wheelchair or have to use the sticks or have to put my braces on, because it just took my willpower away to overcome it, to push it. And it just masked the pain. It didn't necessarily take it away. It just sort of masked it. And there were so many side effects of medication that I still believe that my catheter was a result of too much tramadol. Now, they do believe that obviously that is a sign of EDS. It is part of it. But for me, I just find that pharmaceutical medication just has way too many side effects, that whatever that medication is helping you with, it's just not worth the consequences in the other sort of sides of things. And all you end up doing if you deal with chronic pain is just, oh, seriously, can I just so much fucking hell. Oh, seriously, can someone just crack my neck? This is brain fog. This is when, like I said, if somebody asked me to go and be a teacher and turn up at 9 o'clock and teach a class of kids, or go and work at Tesco's, or, even in what I do, coaching, if someone said to me, Kelly, you've got to be doing work. This is why I struggle to even say that I'm going to do live videos at a certain time. I have to do them as and when I feel like doing them, rather than saying to you, right, hey guys, at 4 o'clock on Friday, Kelly's going live, because Kelly might not feel like fucking going live at 4 o'clock. And yeah, so this is me not feeling like dancing. So that's what I say. I have EDS, it has me, and sometimes we dance. And today I don't feel like dancing, but I wish Dean was here, because Dean would be dancing, and when I feel like this, he just sort of like starts prattling around the house and turning on music, and like I'll be stood by the door wishing that I could go to bed, and he'll just sort of start like body popping around me and you know, sort of picking me out a bit, or I'll go and curl up on his lap for a bit. And oh, my lap, seriously, like my laptop is worse. I only just got this, and already this laptop, I'm on my phone at the moment, but already, Elijah, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I know, it's just, I know. I don't know what it's doing. It's worse than mummy. It's the internet, seriously. That's like a dinosaur, isn't it? The internet's gone on it. So all these things that just like, seriously, it's crazy. So anyway, I'm just letting you know, obviously May is Lost and Lost Syndrome Awareness Month, and there are people like me out there who want to help people understand exactly what is going on. So I'm distracted. My son's just messaged me, and I've just managed to get the laptop working, and Tweenies is on and things like that. So trying to sort of get people to understand, it's really difficult. Like, you get 10 minutes with a GP, yeah, and you're expected within 10 minutes to explain to a GP how you're feeling, what's going on, in order for them to then send you to get diagnosed. And also, once you're diagnosed, it doesn't really make any difference. It really doesn't. Nobody's going to do anything. I'm not important enough for anybody to do anything. If I was an Olympic athlete, right now, oh my word, if I was an Olympic athlete with EDS, I'd be freaking amazing. Oh my word, I would be submerged into this cold funnel. I would be put into this really, really warm bath. I'd have heat things on me. I'd have a masher. I'd have a physio. I'd have it all cracked. I'd have a personal trainer. Oh my word, absolutely bliss. Oh, do you know what? I'd love it. I'd love literally every morning. Like, who needs a carer to come in? That's like really shit. But I'd love it in the morning to have a kick-ass personal trainer come in the morning. And even if I'm in one of those days where I just don't want to get my head off the pillow, I want somebody who comes in and just drags me by my legs, cracks all my joints, flips me up and down, and just gets me out and throws me out the door and starts getting me walking. And even if I've just got a little bit of a walk, which is why I want to get the double buggy changed over, and I want to get one of them proper jogger ones. So even if I'm feeling like this, or I know and I can predict the night before that, you know, I'm going to be feeling like this, I can literally just have my running clothes on and just throw the kids in the buggy and just literally start walking down to the beach, get down to the beach and just keep going. Even if I've just got to walk like a snail initially until I can start. Because once it's all loose and once it's all gone and once it's all sort of cracked in and stuff, it's not that bad. And it's just that I think what happens is, I think it just sort of like builds up so much acid and... Oh shit, seriously, I'm pushing the back of my neck right now. If I had a master art person coming in and pushing this, like, and this is why I know emotionally, if you have a lot of toxic people around you when you have EDS, you'll find that you'll have more really bad days. Like, I've been doing really, really, really well, and yesterday... Dean's not a toxic person, but what's going on in our relationship right now is very toxic. And like yesterday, obviously, was really emotional, and I dealt with a lot of stuff yesterday, and that comes out in emotions. Tapping is really good doing all the getting the tapping going and stuff, and this is something that I will do in the morning. I literally go on all of my pressure points and just start tapping, just to release a lot of that sort of emotion stuff. Tapping, going on to my sort of chakra areas and things like that. And that's pretty much sort of how I get myself going, how I get myself moving. But health has to be a massive part of my life, and the routine that I really, 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 really enjoy. So for those who also do have EDS, because this is also about helping people who have EDS, and if you meet a lot of people with EDS, they will have a neck brace on, they will have finger. In fact, I really do want the rings. If anyone wants to buy me anything for my birthday, I have really for a very, very long time wanted these EDS rings that keep my knuckles and my fingers in place. But yeah, apparently they're really good. Kirsten wears them, but they're quite expensive to keep yourself out with them. And this has been something that I've always wanted, and they don't look like braces and things like that. Seriously, I'm going to carry on, but this is what it's like. This is what living with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is like, and I can put on a really big mask for you right now, and I can gulp this down. I can go, look, don't be so stupid, Kelly, and but that's how much emotion is behind me because of all this frustration and all this stuff, because people are not listening. Like in my reports when I was a kid, they used to say that Kelly's lazy. The foster carer used to say, and I used to be up before the foster carer, but my foster carer used to write that, Kelly won't get out of bed, Kelly's lazy, and people have always struggled about getting me to school for 9 o'clock, and I've always been punished for it. I've always been punished. I've always been punished for having bad body days or bad achy moments. If I'm walking through town with people who don't understand and I'm a little bit sluggish or I need to go and sit down, then people get really frustrated with me. My friend Leanne, she's brilliant. She gets it. I can go shopping with Leanne, and she was one of my carers, and she's absolutely brilliant, and she'll say to me, think it's time for coffee, what do you think, Cal? I'll go, yeah, it's time for coffee. She'll go, cool, and we'll just go and sit down and chill out, and she knows, and she wouldn't even dare to ask me to pick the tray up that's got the coffee on, because we know what's happening if I'm starting to turn into rubbing up fingers and stuff like that, and she never ever makes me feel that I'm an inconvenience, or that having to stop for me is putting her out in any way, shape or form. And it also punishes, and she's also the one as well that when she used to still live in Preston and I lived in Preston, she would still invite me out, even if I was having a bad body day. She'd say, I know you're not doing really well this week, but we're going out on Friday. Do you want to come and be at the bits that you can be in? And that used to be great. And, I'd be on the dance floor and, she'd be chatting to someone and she'd say she's going to struggle in the morning. But then she would stay over that night and literally, we would sit and chill in the garden and until sort of like I was up and about and stuff in the mornings. But we used to prepare for that. We used to prepare for it, that to be that way. And if it wasn't, bonus. But other people, it's like, we don't invite Kelly because it's just no point. She can't do this, she can't do that. I don't know, she might sort of whinge. Because if I say, look, my body's hurting, us whinging. So that's how I come up with this whole, I don't feel like dancing today, because rather than going, look, I'm hurting today, or I'm achy today, or oh, I've just done this, or this is hurting, I just go, I don't feel like dancing today. But when I say I don't feel like dancing, I need people around me who want to take my hand and take me through that, and push me through that, but know my limitations and know my restrictions, because there's no point. There's a difference between achiness, okay? Achiness is one thing, okay? Achiness is one thing. Achiness is just, you know, seriously, can I just like curl up in a ball, go lay on my husband's lap, and you know, just watch my kids smile and go and do something really lovely that day. But having an actual disc about to go, that's different. So if I say to somebody, like what I used to do with my older boys, is we used to have Green Day. Mum's fine, it's fine, everything goes on. If I said, look, it's amber, so I'd be on amber now. So I would be telling people that well, this morning I was red, but right now I'm on amber. So amber is everything's okay. I'm a little bit slow. I'm a little bit sort of rocky. I'm a little bit brain fogged, but I can do things. I can cope. At this particular point, I wouldn't go and jump in a car. So, you know, and I would make that decision. That, you know, I'm not going to go and go driving right now. That would just be ridiculous. And if I was having to medicate, then I wouldn't be able to. But in about an hour's time, once I've sort of like gone and stood in the shower, given myself hot, cold, shaking myself out, you know, got my chains on me and stuff like that, then that's fine. And I can go to physio or go to the gym or whatever. And my routine has always been to have something that gets me up and out. Which is why I always used to be in the gym for 10 o'clock. The boys used to go to school for 9 o'clock, and I would be in the... See, this time, it's this that keeps me going. This is my why. That's my why. Is that fun? That's what keeps the smiles on my face when, you know, all my kids have always been the same. I live for my kids. I breathe for my kids. My kids are my life. My kids are my everything, my world. They always have been. You know, I've been a mum since I was 17. So they are the absolute reason for everything. So anyway, this video has not been a Kelly Coachy video. This has been me giving you a little bit of an insight into what life really is like for me and what I have to overcome. There'll be a lot of people that just sort of go, oh, she's just fucking lazy, being lazy. It's not. If I could literally say to you right now, switch bodies with me, you would go like, okay, if we had one of these moments where we could literally just switch bodies, you would get into my body. Really appreciate that people are not, you know, asking me questions and things like that, because I just couldn't. But what I could do is, once, obviously May is EDS Awareness, and I don't know how many EDS people I have in my network. And I might start doing some form of coaching and holistic stuff for people with EDS. But the problem is I can't plan anything. Like, this is the ridiculous thing about it. I can only plan things when I know I've got a team around me to do that, and my team know that it doesn't matter what it is. And this is what annoys me. I'm going to say this before I go, right? What fucking pisses me off about this whole shit, so you get more goat, right, is I working with the youth in a different situation, that if I was in a wheelchair or if I was braced up that day, or if I was okay that day. It really wouldn't matter, which is why being in a university setting or working for the public service is better for somebody like me, because those sort of organisations have really big laws for disabled. I fucking hate that word. Don't disable me, enable me. I don't want to be disabled. I want to be enabled. While I am in this situation right now, I don't want people putting me down, knocking me off, or going work, or, you know, if I was to go to the GP and they understand this, or if I was to go to for a job interview and I explain this to the employer, the likelihood of me getting that job is not very good. If I put a mask on and I pretend that I don't have these issues, and I pretend that I can run as fast as everybody else, then actually I become very incompetent and very unreliable. And it means that there are things that I would usually able to do, but because I haven't got the right understanding and support around me, I burn myself out, I break myself down, I run myself ragged, and I end up not completing things because I'm constantly wearing this mask and I'm constantly trying to be this perfect image of somebody who's okay, who's coping, who is good, is, you know, is happy, healthy, thriving, where actually inside I'm hurting, I'm stiff. Or people then start going, oh, what's wrong with you? Or like people can get really ratty, because if you bumped into me when I'm like this, you could do a lot of damage. Like, I'm not going to get much movement and range in my neck right now, because literally a lot of this is because that disc is going, I want to go, I'm not going to go, I want to go, I'm not going to go. And all that's doing is just pressing down on every nerve ending all the way around my body, and firing off little silly signals all the way around my body that is letting my body know. And this is what it's all about. This is what everything has been about. This one little fucking cunt right in the middle of my neck here. Yeah, I can feel it. Like, seriously, I can feel where that doesn't go in place. Right there. Just that one bit. And I'm hoping to God, I've got physio on the 15th. I'm really struggling because I keep having to cancel because of childcare. And because it's a really, really awkward trip to get there. Having a car for me is just, it's just vital. It really is just vital. And everyone has a go at me about getting these cheap, crappy cars and stuff. And that's all right and that's great. But if I can't change the gears on that car or push down the clutch, or it hasn't got proper power steering, then I can't drive properly. And I really want to keep my license. And there's a lot of people with EDS that have to lose their licenses. And even medication, even the fact that and this is one of the reasons that I don't want to be on medication, is because if you're on certain medications and your GP prescribes that, you're not legally allowed to drive. And my driving license is absolutely vital to me because, you know, I love that Dean can just put a backpack on his back and strut off and go. And he does actually potentially have a little bit of hypermobility. That's different to EDS, but he's certainly very hypermobile. You know, and he's a dancer and he's got a pin in his leg. And so he gets it, but you know, I don't need people around me who constantly remind me that there's somebody else who's worse off than me. And that's good. That's good. That is good. It is good. It is good to remind yourself and have some form of polarity that right now there's somebody waking up that doesn't have any legs and doesn't have any arms, and they've got a lot more struggles to overcome than I have. But this is exactly the same as rape victims and sexual abuse victims. You know, they always compare that there was a situation that was worse off than theirs. But what that does is that stops them dealing with their own trauma. And what's happening to me right now is quite traumatic. And it creates trauma and it changes your brain. But what I find even more traumatic is when people constantly go, do you know what, come on, as if you can't, you know, and I find that traumatic. And I was just about to say something, and I can't think what I was going to say. Brain fog. Brain fog is actually a clinical diagnosis for EDS, by the way. A lot of people, like in my paperwork, the psychiatrist, this is what pisses me off, right? The psychiatrist, right? The psychologist who did my report, right? Eventually, I did end up in A&E, okay? So the only reason that I rang them is because I had a feeling at all. I was meant to be staying. In fact, they wanted to take me down to have my CT scan and everything, but I was really worried because I had the kid's case. Okay, now you can see it in my hands slightly. Like, you can see my veins. We're getting there. I've got old hands now. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting that. Getting some movement. Getting some range. Getting some range. Here we go, people. Getting some range. But yeah, I was really worried about missing this appointment. That I discharged myself, and I'd been on a morphine drip through the night. And I was a little bit incoherent. And I did actually explain this to them, but because they had said that Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is the easiest condition for anyone to claim to have, the psychiatrist was treating me as if I was lying. So I had to constantly prove. So in my life long enough to understand, and that's what I find really difficult because I don't want services in my life. I don't want. I don't want. Well, actually, I sort of would rather pay people. I would. I certainly want my mum or my dad or my brothers or my sisters or my friends or even my partner, having to pick up my domestic chores. I would rather physically pay somebody to do that. And that's why I had an indicative budget, because social care used to pay for the things to have the staff in to do the bits that used to stop that, so it wasn't, the responsibility wasn't on my children. The judge said that Aaron and Faith would grow up to be my carers, and Liam told the courts that he's never ever felt that he was my carer, just that we're a family who has EDS and we do things differently. And that's as simply as, like, when the boys are older, if I tell them the night before that we're going to go and do something, then my kids have to know there's a difference between what we do on a red day to what we do on an amber day to what we do on a green day. If I wake up and, the discs in my back are going to go, I've never been in a situation yet where I don't know what that can do. Because I've always ended up on gas and air, and I've always ended up in A&E, and then or I've literally had to lay flat on my back and not move and just completely medicate myself. I've always done that with cannabis, and until literally it eases off or I know how to do that. I've been begging chiropractors for years to get involved with me, but again, it's the finances. When you're on income support and you're struggling with getting this foundation to working right, and people don't realize when you have a condition that's inconsistent like this, it's like, and I always use the saying, it's like being the captain of the ship, that you need an autopilot so the ship continues to keep working while you're not. So my house has to have the same Even if I just want to get the mattress out in the living room, or eventually when I get a sofa bed, just lay a sofa bed out, or sit in bed when I'm feeling like this, at least I can still work on laptop, work on a phone. And have you lost your sound, darling? There you go. And even if, like, don't do that, sweetheart. No, be nice to the laptop. This is also why we start having issues, because we just don't look after them right. And the body's just the same. And, you know, we all have to look after our physical bodies, because to go into the hallway. But that turning left to go into the hallway can potentially put my right knee out, my right toe, my right ankle, and my left hip just by turning left. And like, if I go shopping with a trolley, people don't realise. And Dean gets really frustrated with me because I'm trying to stick to my routine, and he's trying to get me in and out of the, like, Tesco's, Asda within 20 minutes. Ready day today. I am struggling this morning. It is days today, like, where I could really do with a friend coming to pick me and the kids up and going off somewhere where we can close the gates and close the doors, and I haven't got to worry about chasing Elijah because he's trying to run off out the gate. And I'm constantly trying to explain to the council here, you know, why I want the gate closed in the garden, because sometimes I'm just not quick enough and I can't take risks like that. So I have to have strategies in place for things like that. You know, so that's why with Elijah, I always have something else that I can grab onto just in case he's my legs actually working. So in the whole time I've been on here, that's how long it's taken. So anyway, the internet has jumped out 2 or 3 times now, and I have noticed that when I press finish and I upload it, that it's missing out pieces.
So I'm going to have to get this fixed. So absolutely brilliant, fantastic. And thank you to May EDS Awareness Month for me to be able to trial doing these videos again and seeing what challenges get in my way and what it is that I need to do. This is why I fucking hate living in this in a bit, and I'm gonna go and start feeling like dancing. I really don't feel like dancing today. I just don't feel like moving at all. And to be honest, what's actually quite nice is it's a very, 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 look at the wind on that tree. Freaking windy down there. It's windy. And actually it's quite grey, so I'm quite happy to not feel like I really need to be getting the kids out today. I do need to be getting them out. I wish the dad was here right now, and I wish the dad could just sort of you know, come out with me, push the buggy, let me walk beside. But the fucker with Dean is he doesn't get it. He walks 10 bar yards in front of me. Get a little bit cluttered and things like that, and we just need quite solid foundations and things around us just to make sure that if we're having days like this, that everything else is really normal. Like, I mean, wouldn't it be really great right now if, you know, rather than me having to stand here and do the washing up, that could have been in a dishwasher, and all I've got to do is, you know, take the plate out of the dishwasher that I want later on, and I haven't got to keep like doing all these bits. Or you know, what would be lovely right now is to be able to open my back door and my kids be able to go rid of these insecurity and trust issues when I'm having to deal with the men that he works with and things. You know, while he's really poor and doesn't drive and stuff, he's really insecure because we deal with people with airplanes and big cars and things like that, and he just thinks they're going to take me away from him. The only thing that would take me away from him is this fucking attitude of jealousy, possessiveness, and constantly thinking that I'm unfaithful, which is killing us right now. But to be honest, personal payments. And just because you can't see their condition, that doesn't make them a benefit scrounger. That doesn't make them somebody that is able to join the rat race. And I know everybody else doesn't want to have to go to work, but that doesn't mean that people out there can then sit on their fucking asses claiming that they have back problems or stuff just so they also can sit on their asses and, you know, be paid by benefits and things like that. Still work. It's just that we need people around us who understand, and it's not about making reasonable adjustments, it's about adjusting. Yeah, it's not about, you don't make a reasonable adjustment. You don't go, oh, okay, you're in a wheelchair today, so we're going to open the door just a little bit bigger. We go, oh, you're in a wheelchair today, so actually you need to be able to get around. So anyway, I'm rambling. That's part of it. And I'm not quite sure how to end this. And I'm also a little bit nervous because insight into why I struggle with EDS, why I struggle with normal everyday living, why even the fact that right now I would really love to just tidy up and get on with things, that really I just want to curl up with kids and have cuddles and play and things, but we are going to have to get out at some point. So being in obviously EDS is personal to me, it's personal to my children, and it's personal to thing. So anyway, I'm going to go and have a banana and get some potassium in. If you're not breastfeeding, by the way, and I don't know why you can't use it when you're breastfeeding, but if you just have normal EDS, by the way, not as in not as in like not breastfeeding, then this is what you really need. I could do an advert, couldn't I? Aloe vera juice. Oh, fuck off, seriously, I can't be asked this morning. Fuck off. So anyway, aloe vera is an absolute brilliant thing, and to drink absolutely plenty of water. Highland Spring. And get a lot of cranberry juice. I prefer real cranberries. And to have daily garlic and coconut water rather than milk. Don't have milk. If you have EDS, don't drink. I would literally have a lemon water in the morning, a green juice, and start out keeping my body alkalized, because a poisoned body causes a lot of crap. And yeah, so I'm going to do some videos about this as we go on over this EDS Awareness Month. And if Amber can do me a favour and actually put all of my videos that are talking about EDS over to the EDS community, just to say that I am actually doing these videos over through the EDS Awareness. There is no organising structure. I just do it as and when crackle and pop, and it goes with Kelly, so it's quite a ideal name, really. Apple juice. Would you like some apple juice? Want some apple juice? Yeah. So yeah, there's some things that you can do to help. There's some things that you can do to hinder. Sometimes I am my own worst enemy, and sometimes I am my own worst self-sabotager. But if somebody ever told me that I would go on camera with my dressing, not my hair looking like that, then yeah, so maybe when I get ready for a ball and you see, oh, she's actually quite all right when she makes an effort, it makes those days even better, doesn't it? But right now, I don't feel like dancing, but I feel like getting my dancing shoes on and seeing how I feel in about an hour. So have a really good day, and check out a right kick. That would be absolutely brilliant. It helps the body, and the lemon actually helps the body release the